They just fulfill prophecy because the scriptures say, so in the latter days, some should depart from the faith.
That's right.
All right, giving heed to spirits
and doctrines of devils.
So that's all that
the
is.
Doctrine of the so-called white man.
Yep.
Esau. Go ahead, man.
Cut. It says, back in 20.
You gotta always push that Esau.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
So-called white man. Esau. See, put that back on him. That's why they want to get us off YouTube and mess with, because the truth, these elites, they know the truth. And that's just for years didn't want that out there about them being Esau. That's right. If you Google anything on Esau, it'll come up, the Edomites were a race of people that they're done away with. That's bullshit.
It's just a lie.
Because they know better. Esau, they're the Edomites. That's right. That's why anytime that Esau conquered in the earth, what they would do, the nations that they conquered, they would take the names of those nations that they conquered to hide themselves.
Exactly.
Like the Greeks and the Romans, they were Edomites. They are Edomites, but they say, oh no, they took the name. First of all, that land over there where Greece and Rome is, which Rome comes from Romulus and Remus, which were of the Japhetic nation. They were dark-skinned people. But when Esau went up in there and conquered that land in that region, what they did was they took the name, we're Romans. Yep. So years later, during the time when Yahweh was on the earth, who the world calls Christ, them Romans, a lot of them, because they lied so long, like the scripture says, surely our fathers have inherited us lives. So the Romans were ruling. They were like, no, if you told the Romans back then, look, you're Edomites, they would say, we ain't no goddamn Edomites, we're Romans. Esau, that's the other people over there. Those Idumeans. As a matter of fact, they died off. We're Romans. And the Greeks, the same. No, we're the Greeks. We're not Edomites, but they are Edomites. Just like today, you talk to these so-called white people, that's why we use the word so-called, and you tell them you're an Edomite. I'm not an Edomite, I'm Irish. I'm English, I'm Norwegian.
I'm German. I'm not American. I'm German.
Or I'm Austrian, or I'm an American. I am an American. See, it's the same thing back all over again. They don't know that they're Edomites. That's why we're here to tell them that they're Edomites. Esau can't escape. Why? Because when you read in the Bible gives you the judgment of Esau. You might not know that this guy here, he don't know he's an Edomite, but guess what? His elites know, and when I say elites, meaning the Illuminati, the elite banking families, like the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPont, the Getty, so on and so forth, which they're all really related. They're the Rothschilds, but they're under different names. Going back to the Meyer Emschel Bauer, the Bauer family, for Germany in the 1700s, which were money lenders, and they got to be called, they always change their names, man, throughout history. And then they go back, the Rothschilds really go back to the Bourgeois. So they were in Spain during that time, in the 1400s, when they came into power, when Rodrigo Bourgeois stole and bribed and murdered us with him to the papacy. Because prior to that, Spain was ruled by people, dark-skinned people of color, Israelites, the Moors. Okay, like El Cid. You ever seen that movie with Charlton Heston? El Cid. Now, when that was taking place, Charlton Heston, he loves to play them noble characters. Guess what? El Cid was a black man, an Israelite. Okay, who so-called black people ruled Spain. Okay, which was our people.
They were North Africans, right?
No, they were Israelites.
They were
Israelites.
They were known as that.
But they were really Israelites.
They were really Israelites.
They were following Islam and they were calling themselves Moors.
Are they still Israelites? They're Islam?
That's not a religion, it's a nationality.
It's a nationality.
Islam is a religion.
But that's why, if I may say, what was the name of that? They call that coast or that peninsula, the Iberian
Peninsula.
Yes,
Peninsula.
Spain and Portugal, yeah.
You know what Iberian means? If you do some research, you look it up. It means Hebrew.
Right.
From Eber.
The Hibernians, the order of the Hibernians. Back to the correct way is Ha-Ibar. So Hibernia is another pronunciation of Ha-Ibar, which in English you say Hebrew. But in the Hebrew, it's Ha-Ibar. Those are Israelites. Those were Israelites.
That's
right, because when you go to Eber, Eber was which means from the past, because why? They kept the same language after the flood and everything. After Noah's son, when the Lord divided, I mean not the flood, pardon me, the Tower of Babel. When the Lord divided all the nations and the languages, they kept that line, kept that language
through our facstats line.
Right.
Through our facstats,
right. Yep.
So which is more important to the Lord's promises of salvation, the race or the religion?
Well, no,
not
a religion. It's not a religion.
Not a religion.
So, see, the Bible is not a religious book. The promise was to who? Well, we can get I got it. The promise was to who promise to?
I got it.
Abraham, Isaac.
Okay, Abraham, Isaac, and thank you. You know something.
That's not the whole world.
So who is Jacob? We gotta find out who is Jacob.
Yeah.
Today.
Is that the whole world?
And that's the answer to that question right there.
Well, here's my follow-up then. We know that when the Israelites left Egypt out of slavery, when the Lord delivers them, they take other people who aren't ethnically Israelites, who aren't descended from Jacob
as servants. As servants.
They were taken as servants.
But others are taken as members of the community, aren't
they?
Not just as slaves.
No, the scriptures tell you that.
Doesn't Exodus tell us that?
Any other nation?
John 147:19.
Doesn't Exodus tell us that anyone who performed the Passover ritual
no,
saved, not just biological?
Because it was in the law.
No, you gotta find. That's not it.
No. Well, I'm
that's not in it.
Well, let's get them scriptures. I got you. We can go back into Leviticus, Exodus. The Most High told the Israelites that your servants are bound to keep the law. It don't
in your household.
Because they're in your household. It don't mean that they are numbered amongst Israel, but they had to keep the law
because they were amongst us.
Because they was amongst us. Because we were all about keeping the law. Israel had to keep the law. So if we're Israelites keeping the law, and we have servants who are Hamites, they can't be. They ain't gonna be eating pork under us. They gotta keep the law too. Just like when the white man had Negroes in slavery, the slaves had to do what the master said. They had to go according to the way of the master celebrated Christmas. You gotta celebrate Christmas. They taught you that. The master, right? That's what so-called blacks got, and the Native Americans got white Christianity from, because they said, look, this is our religion, boy. You going the image of the white Jesus Christ. Yep. This is Jesus, boy. This is Jesus. Yep. They didn't let the slaves read, but they would preach to their own slaves and say, look, boy, this is God's white. This is what it is, boy. Right? So you had to do what the master said. You had to observe the master's customs.
I have one other question. You make of St. Paul saying there's no more Jew or Greek in Christ.
You have to understand something.
Yeah,
see? You have to go into the history.
That's a little too heavy for you, but
that's meat.
That's a little too heavy.
But let's see if you can maybe digest some of it. Those were talking about Israelites.
Right.
You see, because you had, what does the word Gentile mean? Where does the word Gentile come from?
The nations.
The definition, the etymology of the word Gentile. What's the etymology of the word? Gentilis, which means foreigner.
Nations, yeah.
No, it means foreigner. It means foreigner. You had Israelites, okay, that were living amongst the other nations. They were speaking the language of the other nations. They were following the customs of the other nations, okay? But they were Israelites. Jew or Gentile. You had Israelites in a Gentile state of mind. Why? Because in the scripture, it tells you that Israel will be scattered amongst the nations. Okay. Oh, let's get it, man. Come on with it, man.
Yeah, I got something.
You know what I want
for you. Okay, I'm not sure.
We'll go into it. We're gonna go into it.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 1. It says, "Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I would not have you ignorant." Okay. All right. So Paul said, brethren mean his brothers, right? Now, who was the Apostle Paul? What was his nationality?
From Tarsus, so Greek, right? Or Asian Minor?
Nah. That's why he said that this is going to be a little too deep for you.
Yeah.
All right, but when you go into Romans 11th chapter, as a matter of fact, I'll read that real quick. We're going to show you.
We're going to find out what nationality Paul.
Because see, this ain't a speculation thing. That's right.
But he had Roman citizenship.
Yeah.
And he was able to fluently speak Latin, which is the Roman language, and he fluently spoke Greek, but he also spoke his mother tongue, Hebrew. So he was fluent in all three languages.
That's right.
Because at that time, there were Israelites, there were Greek-speaking Israelites, and then you had the Israelites that spoke Hebrew, Israelites, no matter what region they were in.
Just like today.
Just like right now.
I'm sorry, not to cut you off. What's your father, your background, as far as you know? Irish, Jewish, Italian.
My family's all from New York, but as far as we know, it's German before that, but
German.
a long time ago.
So now, okay, so let's say German as far as you could recollect. Say you're German. If you're born in China, does that make you now Chinese?
Not ethnically.
Yes.
Okay, exactly. So now,
Good, you get it.
now we're going to show you in the scriptures with Paul, because like the other apostle was going into, is that Israelites were scattered amongst through the diaspora, which you might have heard about before. But go ahead, you got it.
When his real name was Yahushua, the world calls him Jesus Christ. When he was crucified and they put him on the cross,
Right.
in what language did they put the epitaph on his head?
Yeah, right. There
Because there were Israelites all around. Remember,
And what did it say in those languages?
Jesus Christ, King of the Jews.
Yeah, all right. The king of the who?
Of the Jews.
All right. So now, why did it write it in those different languages
So every
that were speaking those languages? That's why you got in the book of Acts, the second chapter. All right, the day of Pentecost, where it said, "How do we Jews?" Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry.
What do we Romans first? Then go there, or you want to go
Okay, either one.
All right,
Yeah.
Romans 11 and what? It said, this is Paul speaking. I say then, has the Most High cast away his people?
Right. So can we say clearly that his people, the chosen people of the Lord, are the Israelites, according to what the Bible says? You just quoted the line to the brother just now. You said Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
that's right.
Jacob, whose name was later changed to what? Israel. Right? So it said what?
I say then, hath the Most High cast away his people?
Right, because everybody said that, right? They said, oh, the Lord, because why? They kept sinning and being wicked, right? So they said, oh, the Lord got rid of them. That's what a lot of even Muslims, a lot of people say that.
The Muslims know that
Right?
Israel was cast.
They're cast away and everything. And even right now, because the real Israelites are in the captivity. So we don't even exist as Israel in today's society.
That's right.
They calling us Negroes, West Indians, or whatever. So Paul's asking a question. He said, wait a minute. Because even back during that time, which is the pagan Roman Empire, right? You still had Israelites that were scattered and so forth and so on. So Paul's asking that question. Are the Israelites, is God's people done away with?
It says the Most High forbid.
You know what that means? Hell no. He said the Most High forbid.
Right.
No. Meaning his people are not cast away.
Am an Israelite.
Paul said, I also am an Israelite. That's how I know it's showing you that the people of the Most High are the Israelites. So Paul said, I know they're not cast away because I'm one of those Israelites. But now he goes deep.
Of the seed of Abraham.
Of the seed, not spiritually.
As you said, Abraham, right?
And the word seed means sperm.
Right.
That's right.
The line.
That's right.
Direct line.
Line,
Yeah.
sperma.
It says, of the tribe of Benjamin.
Woo!
Tell you the tribe that he's from.
The tribe of
But I
Benjamin.
also am an Israelite. of
That's
the
why we
seed
got
of
the 12
Abraham,
tribe sign up
of
here.
the tribe of Benjamin.
Yeah.
Now the thing you mentioned about Greeks, you mentioned about Galatians. Now when Paul said that, now I'm gonna show you something in the book of St. John, the 7th chapter, St. John 7:35. But I'm gonna read it in the New International Version.
Oh,
Bible.
that's the one.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna show you what it says. St. John 7:35, New Testament. It says the Jews said to one another, where does this man, they're talking about the Lord, whom the world calls Jesus Christ, his name is Yahushua. I'm gonna read it again from the top. The Jews said one to another, where does this man intend to go that we cannot find him? Will he go where our people live, scattered among the Greeks, and teach the Greeks?
Look at that.
Because our people were called Greeks. The Israelites in Jerusalem were known as the circumcision.
That's
The
right.
uncircumcision were the Israelites that lived in Rome and that lived in Greece, and they weren't circumcised
That wasn't
themselves.
keeping the law.
They weren't keeping the law.
Israelites
They
that
didn't
were-
speak the Hebrew. They weren't wearing the garments.
That's right.
They kept none of the traditions. But
That's over.
they were still Israelites.
They were
but
still
they were going
Israelites,
off.
just like today.
Exactly.
That's why we're here. See, you see us like, okay, we dress this way. As you see at the bottom of all of us,
I was noticing the tassels. Yeah.
yes, that's the fringes,
Make
which
your
represents
fringes
the
along
law.
the borders of your
In
garments.
Leviticus, it tells you that. The Most High gave Moses for us to keep the border of blue and the fringes. The border of blue representing the covenant.
Right.
So by us doing this is the way of us trying to keep the law.
So do
We
you
were
keep
told
the
to
whole
put the
law?
border of blue and fringes on the borders of our garments,
So do you keep the whole law?
to the best of my ability.
To the best of our
See, but then Apostle Paul goes into that.
Paul
And
goes
tells us
into
Because
the
I
whole
can't
law
keep
is
the law
too much
perfectly in
burden,
this
yeah.
kingdom. Okay,
That's why we need a
that's why.
savior.
Look,
But not
to
that
the
nothing's
best of
wrong
our
with it.
ability,
Yeah.
to the best, but we're under grace right now. So the Apostle Paul went into all that. But we're trying to keep the law. We don't just say, well, like the Apostle Paul said, do we then make void the law?
Here you go.
Lord
Here you
forbid,
go.
we establish the law. So
That's
even
right.
though we don't keep the law perfectly, we're in rehearsal. That's why you see us, we wear beards on our face. That's why when we come out here, we wear our garments. We don't eat pork. We don't eat shrimp, crab, lobster. We don't commit adultery. We acknowledge the Sabbath.
We're not gay.
We're not homosexuals because that's against the law.
Yeah, that's right.
We're
That's
not,
right.
we're not down with the LGBT community because that's against the law.
Against the Bible.
You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
Yes.
We don't commit adultery with each other's wives
That's
or
right.
anybody's wife. You understand? Or the law, man, the law.
So throughout the Old and New Testament, the Israelites usually tell which tribe they're from, right?
Yeah,
Paul tells
yeah.
us he's from Benjamin, right?
Yeah,
Do you know which tribe you're from?
yeah, to the best of our knowledge, because we got the tribes charted here. You understand? We got the tribes charted here. We know what tribe we're from, but I mean, through the Spirit, we could be another tribe, we don't know, but to the best of our knowledge, yeah, we know what tribe we're from.
We know
Right.
we know number one, we know we're Israelites.
We know we're Israelites.
All right, we're not Hamites.
But like I said, to the best, like me, I'm from the tribe, I'm a Reubenite. This is my cousin right here, we're Reubenites. Okay, this brother's a Gadite. This brother is from the same tribe as the
Paul.
Apostle Paul.
That's right, that's
He's
right.
a Benjamite. What tribe you from, brother? Another Benjamite over here. He shares, these brothers share, they share kinship with the Apostle Paul.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
And see, and the thing is too, as it is written, the just shall live by faith. So, because of course we don't, the records been destroyed and everything, right? So it's not like we could produce records, because that's a game that they'll play. That we can't produce straight up records, but we do know that we do know about the history of the Native American Indians,
Yeah.
whose land that this is that we stand on. This is our
This is our
land.
land.
Well, supposed to be.
Yeah, but
Right.
we are so-called Seminole Indians.
That's right.
Okay, I know that as far as this life, I know I'm Seminole Indian from Florida. Okay.
And then it's the so-called Negroes. We know how the so-called black men, the Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians got here, right? They came as what? Slaves.
Yeah.
Now we know when you read in the Bible, the prophecy going back in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, it tells you clearly that in the last days that the Lord is going to bring Israel into captivity by the way of ships over here to Egypt, which America is known as spiritual Egypt in the Bible. When you read in Revelations, the 11th chapter, it tells you that.
Sodom and Egypt.
Right? Spiritually, right? It said where you should be sold as bondmen and bondwomen.
That's right.
And there you should be, and no man shall save you. So we know that by process of elimination, that's not speaking about the so-called white man that calls himself a Jew.
No.
Because they own every goddamn thing.
Right.
And they even were the ones, guess what? Guess what else they own besides the media, the Diamond District, okay, everything? They own those slave ships
That's right.
that brought the slaves over here.
Right.
They
As a matter of
financed it.
fact,
The elites.
the auctioning blocks were closed on Jewish holidays.
Yep.
Yeah.
The auctioning blocks, anytime there was a Jewish holiday, they closed the auctioning blocks.
That's right.
So they were the ones they were the financiers and they were the profiteers
Yeah.
of the slave trade.
The Jewish bankers.
Which are
is-
not Jews anyway.
which
They're
are not-
Edomites
yeah,
saying
Jewish.
that they're Jews.
Well, yeah, we could call them Jewish because they're fake Jews.
Right.
When you say Jews,
Ish.
a Jew and Jewish is two different things.
Right.
A Jew really refers back to the tribe of Judah. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Well, that goes into whole other history. There was a split
Separation
between Israel,
Yeah.
remember,
You had the kingdom of
Rehoboam and Jeroboam and all that.
You had the kingdom of Judah, which
Yeah.
is those three tribes,
Yeah.
and the kingdom of Israel were the 10
The
tribes,
northern
which is known as the northern
which
kingdom.
we're from the Northern Kingdom, and that's how the Native, because look, that's coming out now about the Native Americans. The Native Americans are of the lost tribes of Israel. I'm pretty sure you see documentaries on that. James Adair spoke on that. The Native American, when you look at the Native American customs, the fringes, the borders are blue, it's
Right.
documented.
Right.
And there's more people now coming out.
The Native Americans spoke broken Hebrew.
That's right, the language of the different
Yep.
native languages that we spoke are really Hebrew.
Right.
It goes back to the Hebrew. The Apaches, the Most High's name, the Creator, his name is Yahweh. And his son's name, who the world calls Jesus Christ, is Yahweh Shai. The Apaches call him Yusin. You see what I'm saying?
There's a connection.
Yeah. the Apaches prayed in the 4 directions. You see what I'm saying?
And then when you got to go and see this, it all goes back to the prophecy. The Bible is our record that we're the Israelites. Everything that the Bible says about us is we're living proof of that. It said it thou should, Jeremiah 17 and 4.
Thou shalt discontinue from the heritage that I gave you.
That's right.
And that's what happened.
We lost our heritage.
And even I mean, real quick before you bring that out, going back into slavery, even with the so-called Negroes that came over here as slaves, they weren't Africans. See, that's what history, just like they told you Christopher Columbus discovered America. That's bullshit. That's more lies from the so-called white man. Let's call it what it is. Okay, same thing about the slaves that they brought here being Africans. Africans sold other Africans slaves. Let's break that bullshit down, because that's not true. They were Israelites, and they knew that they were Jews, and they beat it out of them when they were here. When they came here, just like they showed you in that movie with a guy, what he called it, Kunta Kinte, he said, no, you whipped him, your name is Toby.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they did. They beat it, they tried to beat it out of us. Right. All right, why do you think, you heard of Nat Turner?
Sounds familiar.
He led a slave revolt.
Got it.
Matter of fact, they just had a movie about him not too long ago. Right in the 1800s. He knew that he was an Israelite. You understand? There's numerous counts of so-called Negroes as well as Native American Indians that knew that they were Israelites. Even the Puerto Rican, the Taino Indians down there.
Puerto Ricans are part, but they're on the side.
Exactly.
The
Mexicans.
They built pyramids. Where would the Mexicans learn to build pyramids? Right. The Israelites, when we was
Connect
in
the
Egypt,
dots.
You got to connect the dots, man.
Connect the dots.
Right, because why? We were the same people that was in Egypt that built the pyramids under the Egyptians, all the 12 tribes, all of us, from the Negroes down to the Mexicans. Okay? That's how we had the technology on building a pyramid.
Right.
The Native American, we had mounds, pyramids, all that, man.
From Egypt.
Because we're the Israelites.
That were in Egypt.
That's right. That's right.
I got to run. I'm late for my
Okay,
show.
no
My
problem,
wife's
man.
getting mad, but thank you for
Good, we got a
talking.
little education tonight.
Keep preaching.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, and hey, and by the way,
Everything,
but
I share your concern.
hey, well, it says, wait,
that I get.
Wait,
Something
hey,
not believe.
exactly.
Make the faith of the Lord without effect.
Exactly.
You don't have to believe it, but that's the only.
But you heard it.
The truth. But you heard it.
You heard it. You
That's
can't
right.
say you ain't heard
Yeah, that's
it.
right.
In Germany,
Do more research.
in Germany, and
We ought to
remember,
watch
Oh,
it.
yeah. That's why we're here.
And Ezekiel.
remember about Germany.
And Ezekiel.
Yep, that's
So
right.
that's what we doing. Remember the watchmen?
That's
We're
right.
here to warn the people. We're the prophets, man.
You said
You're
3 and
the
17.
prophets of the
Yeah,
Lord.
America's gonna be destroyed by
America's gonna be
thermonuclear
destroyed by
destruction.
thermonuclear.
This place is gonna be kaput. On its way out.
Yeah.
All right.
The lake of fire, we're standing in it.
The scruples of the people is at an all-time low.
Yeah, America's the lake of fire.
God bless you.
Are you gonna go? You're gonna go, all right.
All right. Yep.
All right, well, go ahead. Keep it in.
Precept.
There we
I
go.
was trying to get this one out while you was hey,
Do a little something. Or think you know the scriptures.
He told Paul.
I'm gonna read this,
Tarsus.
yeah,
I was like, this guy don't know nothing.
Romans 8 and 16.
Ain't got the juice.
It says the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High.
Right, this whole thing is spiritual, man. We know we're the Israelites, first of all, by the records, all right? And overall spiritual, man. How you know the Ephraimite? How you know the Benjamin to the west? It's spiritual, man.
Yeah.
All right?
Plus, in them islands, they got there's records in them islands. There's Hebrew writing and all that all throughout the islands.
Good.
Matter of fact, there's more records over on this side of the world to show that the tribes that's here on this side of the world are Israelites than back over there than back over there in Jerusalem itself.
That's right. Say that again, brother. Say it louder. That's right. What's the land of our captivity? Right here in America. Right here in America. That's right. A lot of scriptures to back that up, man. I know at the times we're in now that we're getting so closer to the end, it's without a shadow of a doubt. That's why you see a lot of niggas bugging out that used to be in the truth, now they bugging the hell out. We don't get messed up over that because that's all according to, we know that these things are going to happen before our Lord and Savior comes back. Shit is going to go totally haywire. That's why we